In this scene, Amir will be demonstrating the last 4 in our series of 7 elbow strikes. Strike number 4 will be to the rear and to the solar plex area. Strike number 5 will be to the throat or face area, to the rear. Strike number 6 will be forward and to the face area or throat area. And strike number 7 will be delivered downward to an appropriate target. Notice that each time Amir is striking in this series, he is striking and recoiling quickly. And each time he strikes, his weight is delivered in the elbow strike. Each time he strikes, he is covering appropriately so he does not expose vulnerable areas to further attack. In this next series, Amir is going to be demonstrating the last 4 strikes in our series of 7. That's the vertical strikes in slow motion. Watch for his balance, watch for his ability to recoil, and watch how he looks at the target before striking while covering to make himself safe. Please. To the solar plexus, to the chin or face, striking forward to the face, and striking downward to the appropriate target. A side view reveals his balance, the power that's generated in a short distance, and how he covers and looks to be safe. An important element in striking is to use a variety of weapons. In this view, Amir is attacking John. You see the distance between them. He is closing the distance with longer weapons, such as straight punches. When he's in close, he's using intermediate range weapons, such as hooks and uppercuts, that can be delivered to the face, head, or body. When he's very close, he's delivering elbow strikes for infighting. And when he's even ultimately closer, he could use his head as a weapon. And on the way out, he follows the same principle in reverse. Intermediate weapons to long-range weapon. Up to this point, we've demonstrated striking with the hands and elbows. It's important now to integrate the legs and knees into a complete system of fighting. The legs offer and afford the person who's making the attack a broad range of distance. Your legs are longer than your arms. Your legs are stronger than your arms. So a powerful, full-range distance kick can provide many benefits in the fight. In addition, in close range, we can use the knee as an infighting type weapon, similar to the elbows in comparison to a punch. To make a complete fighter, we must incorporate the legs and knees into the equation of the fight. In this next scene, we view front kick to the groin. In this scenario, we're kicking up and underneath the groin, and the kick is rising. Generally, the kick is delivered with the instep of the foot, approximately at the same area one would tie their shoes. The knee controls how high the kick is going, and the knee should rise above the target level. The leg opens, and the power is delivered up and through the target. As much as possible and as much as is comfortable, we try to emphasize to keep our hands up to protect our upper body. Elbows are in to protect the rib area. The hip comes forward, which is much like our right shoulder advancing towards the target when we punch. Note what is occurring with the base leg. As the kick is on its way being delivered to the target, the base leg, the heel of the base leg, turns inward so that the hips can extend forward and deeper to develop greater range in the kick and greater power. You can land forward depending on if you make contact and it's appropriate to do so, or in some situations it'll be appropriate to recoil and bring your leg back and behind you. In either case, one should be ready and prepared to follow up with counterattacks that are appropriate for the circumstances. In slow motion, reviewing the kick in its stages, the knee rising and the leg opening and closing, our hands staying up to protect us, and also leaving our hands in a position where we can give further attacks. If we're close, instead of the top of the foot being the striking area, we can strike with the shin. The shin is a very hard surface area and can do great damage to the groin. In this view, we can examine the kick, the front kick to the groin, in its logical stages. Kevin will assume a fighting stance and slowly will deliver the kick in its entirety. A side view. It's possible that the kicker will want to land forward. If he's successful in reaching the target, there's no sense in bringing the leg back. However, if there should be a reason to retreat, it is also possible to bring the leg back and resume your fighting position from that distance. The stages. As in all attacks, we want whatever the striking implement to be to move toward the target first, to avoid the problem of telegraphing. Here we are striking with the top part or the instep of the foot. The foot will be jumping towards the target first and will lead the attack. The knee is folding and the kick is delivered. A side view. The knee is rising with the foot going towards the target immediately. 1 is the knee up, 2 is the knee out and back, and 3 is the resumption of the position from which to fight further. In this next section, we deal with the instruction of roundhouse kicks. Like all other striking methods in the system, we want to be able to hit a target from any possible angle and at varying distances. Our roundhouse kick is delivered up and around, and it can be delivered at a very acute angle, or it can be delivered on the diagonal angle. And of course, should the opponent be on the ground or the threat be on the ground, still viable, the kick can be delivered in a downward angle. Because the turning of the body, the use of the hips, and the full range of motion involved in this kick, it is a very powerful target. It can be delivered to the leg. It can be delivered to the torso. It can be delivered to the head level. In this view, we can see the roundhouse kick being delivered with the right leg. There's no telegraphing of the kick. And in fact, what is occurring is the knee is being raised and leads the foot. The knee also extends beyond the target. The hips are turning in, and the weight is being turned into the direction of the target. Power is generated in a relatively short distance. Notice also that Jared, as he's kicking, keeps his hands relatively up and in a protected position so that he is safe from any additional attacks that may be sent in his direction. In slow motion, please. Like other strikes, the striking implement, which is the top of the foot in this case, leads the kick. As the foot is coming forward, the knee is bent and remains bent as the kick passes through.